Alright, it's taken me a few times to actually remember the first day of Prague. Um, I've like started making a few videos already, and none of them have worked, so I keep forgetting. So I have my camera with me so I can remember. So um, the first day was pretty easy. I had like one goal really, and that was to go to the Dali Museum, or like an exhibit of Dali, um, which was really good. It was really, really nice. It was just like a very small exhibit, and the next to it was a Muka exhibit, which is owned by the same place. It was basically just in a big apartment building. And I'm not a huge fan of Muka, but it was like interesting to see kind of how his life progressed because I didn't really know who he was. I just like I mean like everyone recognizes his work because it's on like every it's like in every homework basically you've ever seen is like Muka in the calendars and whatnot. Um, so that was interesting to see. I have some cool pictures from those museums actually. That was my only goal for the day. So I got there at like 1, checked into my hostel, which was wonderful. It's right in the middle of Old Town, which is like it's really touristy. So everything's more expensive. But my hostel was actually really cheap, luckily. And it was like filled with a lot of really cool people. So I met a lot of people there, which was nice. So I checked into my room, and I think it was like an 8-person dorm, but it was only me in there until my roommate came in way later, and she's from Moscow. Talk about her mom. She's super cool. Um, so, uh, right. So I went to the Dali exhibit after like kind of just wandering around for a while. I took a sort of hike up to where this other big center of like churches and stuff would be, but I ended up not making it up there because I didn't realize it was there, and I wasn't sure if I was just walking into like nothingness. So I was like, all right, well I'm gonna go back because I'm really hungry. So I got lunch, and it was a whole fish with its head and tail still intact. So it was just watching me eat it. It was terrible. And I was eating alone too. With like a huge group of people right next to me, so it was just like whole fish heads. It was like really sad. But anyway, so I did that, and then I started just taking buses around the city because I already had like a pretty good feel of the city from when I was there with Ari about a month ago. Oh, I still haven't even talked about that. Oh my gosh, I have so many videos to do. Okay, well, so I kind of got to know the city before, so I was pretty comfortable in it, and I just kind of wandered for a while. So that was a big part of my day, and then also the Dali exhibit is right next to, I think it's Our Lady of Tien. I'm not sure if that's the right church, but it's a really major church. And like a really huge, like it's like the big square. And it's really historical and all that. So there's like a huge, huge Christmas market there. Um, and it was really nice, but super crowded. And it was like, what I really don't like about Prague is how it's like completely made for tourists. So I heard way more English than I heard Czech, which is kind of obnoxious to me. I mean, it's sort of ridiculous to say, but whatever. So I went around there and got a little bit of food, which was really good, and watched this puppet show on the main stage, which was wonderful, even though I couldn't understand it. Actually, I have a really adorable, actually a few really adorable videos of the guy I was standing next to had his little kid on his shoulders. This kid was like maybe 4, and he was just laughing hysterically at everything, and then like speaking Czech, and it was just so adorable. Like I don't even like kids, but it was so cute. So I'll have to post that really soon because it's so good. um, so I did that, and then it was like nighttime. So I think I just went back early. I think. And checked mail and everything, and then went to bed. Um, so alright, I'll do the next day because it should be quick, hopefully. But I remember everything, which I won't. So the next day, I had looked up a bunch of museums that I wanted to see. Um, so basically, I could just go to all the contemporary museums. Oh man, I totally forgot about this. Okay, so um, it was Christmas Eve on the second day. So everything was closed because basically people here, like in Europe or in Central Europe at least, celebrate Christmas on the 24th, basically. And the 25th is like the actual day, but all the celebration and everything is the 24th, and all presents and everything. Um, so I basically went around trying to find the museums, even though I knew they would be closed. So I just kind of wandered all day, and yeah, I got lost a few times. That was good. So I just kept walking around, just visiting everything, and that was pretty much it. I just wandered for the second day. And then I went to a bar that, that night I had a really, really good dinner. This is like not of importance, but it was super check. It was potato dumplings with uh, uh, sort of sauerkraut and like stewed pork or something. I'm not really sure. It was something porky. It was so good. I was like dying. So then after that, I went to a bar near where my hostel was, and just started drinking there and writing letters to friends. And then I started talking to the bartender. And we ended up going out like a few days later. So it was kind of weird and cool. So yeah, and then it was right before I actually went there. I was planning on going into town to just see like what was going on there, even though it was Christmas Eve. See if there were like any pubs open or any clubs or anything. And I ended up talking to this girl who worked at the hotel, and she started telling me we were waiting for the tram together, which didn't come for like half an hour. So she was telling me all about like the Christmas traditions in the Czech Republic and how you get your presents on the 24th and you have like your dinner with your family, which is really nice, but all the kids are like so excited they can like barely eat or do anything because right after dinner, I forgot the name of like the Santa, whatever. He comes and brings the presents during dinner, so the kids are flipping out the whole time, but they can't leave the table because then they like wouldn't get presents basically. Um, and then this Santa character has no, he has like no, he has nothing like distinct, so you can't like describe him because it's different for every kid. But I guess it's getting like Americanized, and if you'll ask a kid like what he looks like, he'll say like big jolly man in red suit, and that's like, I mean, it's Santa. They're describing Santa, which is kind of sad. So she was a little upset about that, actually. I think she was accusing me of, like, ruining her culture. So it was really cool to talk to her, though. So that was the second day. And then the third day was Christmas, and I just did more wandering. I found out that Jan Svankmajer has a surrealist, well, with his wife, who I think may have died a few years ago. But they have the only surrealist gallery in the world, I guess. It's, like, purely surrealist. So I, like, was wandering around the castle. Oh, I went to the castle the first day, but I already been there, so it wasn't really a big deal. But so I was like wandering around the castle because I had heard it had been there for like at least half an hour, just asking everyone like, Kidea, I don't remember it was like Kidea Chinchinska or something like that, which is a street, and it's like, where's this street? So I was like asking everyone, and everyone was like, I have no idea. So I finally just called a taxi because I was so desperate to go see this gallery, even though I was pretty much assuming it would be closed. So I got a taxi. And I told the girl the street, and she had no idea where it was. So she had to, like, call one of her coworkers, and they were like, I don't know. But then they eventually, like, figured it out. So she took me to this big touristy area, and I was like, all right, good work, all right. And then we went down this little alleyway, and she's like, well, this is the street, but I don't see it anywhere. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just get out and, like, wander. So we went around this whole square, and then ended up, like, 10 feet behind where I was. And it was like this tiny little gallery. And I'm pretty sure Jan Svankmajer's house is like that. I think it's like the gallery and then his house is like right here. It was really, I mean, it was closed, unfortunately, which I was really upset about, but not really surprised. Yeah, it was closed. I started peeking in the window. I was like knocking on the door because I saw a light in the attic, and I was like, I bet that's Jan Svankmajer. He's like down having his Christmas dinner, but I'm gonna like make him come here and like let me in and just like hug him or something. So So I was like knocking on the door and like ringing the doorbell, and I was like, alright, I'll take a break. Let him finish his dinner, and then I'll come back. So I went and got a big glass of hot wine, which is like everywhere during Christmas time. So I like finished it, and then took some pictures of a church nearby, and then came back, and I was like, Jan's fake there. And we didn't really do that, but I did knock for far too long. So, and eventually just took a bunch of pictures of like the place. And he had a bust of himself and Eva, his wife, up on this balcony. So I took a bunch of pictures of that. It was a very cool place. So I did that, and then I ended up going to a few of the galleries, which I won't describe the art because this video is really long. But contemporary art, actually, that might be a good story to tell. So I'll stop this and then have an end of Prague video.